I'm about to do my persuasive speech. There's my group. All right. Let me get this. And euthanasia is the painless killing of a patient suffering from an incurable and painful disease or an irreversible coma, and it happens to be that the practice is illegal in most countries. In this speech, I will be discussing why euthanasia or physical assisted suicide should be legalized for individuals that desire this request. This concerns the audience due to the fact that there are those who are suffering and want to end their lives, but are held back since their request is denied. Opponents must acknowledge that if neither euthanasia nor physical assisted suicide is permitted, some patients experiencing unremitting pain will be prevented from ending their lives and suffered needlessly. And that quote is by Ezekiel Emanuel from Ethics. My main 3 points are that it provides relief for everyone suffering from an incurable and painful disease. Opponents of a right to die sometimes reply that people with such views can be helped to realize that such a condition is not worse than death, and euthanasia should be permitted everywhere. Opponents of the right to die sometimes reply that people with such views can be helped to realize that the condition is not worse than death. Opponents of a legal right to die and are fond of saying that freedom has its limits. However, just because freedom has its limits does not mean that the right to die falls beyond those limits when a person deems that life is no longer worth living. Then taking action to prevent that the person from gaining assistance to die imposes a very serious harm. Although society may restrict a person's freedom to prevent the infliction of harm on others, it is very difficult to justify restricting a person's freedom when that restriction will result in an immense personal harm. And that is from Dr. Ben Arthur. The opponents of euthanasia and assisted suicide who cite the dangers of abuse and support their view also fail to notice that abuse is possible even when euthanasia and assisted suicide are legally prohibited. Furthermore, it provides relief from an incurable and painful disease and gives the opportunity to avoid overtreatment, which is designed to keep patients alive at price. I estimate that each year of 2.3 million Americans who die, approximately 5,000 to 25,000 might have a distinct dying process with significant and unremitting pain. Desire euthanasia or physical assisted suicide and be competent to repeatedly request consent euthanasia or pass. That's from Ezekiel and Emanuel Ethics again. Patients with incurable disease and the doctors that keep them alive by machines are not free. They are dependent and they cannot do what they want and therefore lose their human dignity. Onward. Euthanasia should be permitted everywhere because it is a free society and everyone should be able to choose the way they want to die. Through the people's lives, they have the liberty to decide their job, their religion, their family, and to make decisions in their own life, according to their own conceptions. Beliefs and feelings about where they want their lives to go, they take responsibility for their own lives, and choices people make about ending their life should be a part of these responsibilities. Deciding if one wants to be alive or not is not a personal decision. Neither the doctors nor the family or the government should have the power to force someone to live, and in extreme cases, one of the families should have the right to act on one's behalf. The right to die with dignity is not an ordinary law and is not granted to someone to kill, but it should be seen as an option for conscious and free people to be understood and helped in a special request, which is to end their life. This implies voluntariness and disclosure of risks, benefits, reasonable alternatives, and probable results. And this is from Cheryl K. Smith with Active Euthanasia. Should it be legal? That's a quote. What those should do is allow those who request euthanasia should have the right to be set free rather than suffer more and more. And by donating to this petition, Death with Dignity, that could help them with that. It provides relief for everyone suffering an incurable and painful disease. Opponents of the right to die reply that people with such views can be helped realize that this condition is not worse than death. And euthanasia should be permitted everywhere, and euthanasia should be legalized due to all the benefits, reducing pain it has on individuals that request it, and those who request it deserve the right to be put out of their misery. I also chose this speech because it is a big topic in controversies where people feel that they shouldn't be euthanized or that's not right. I mean, if it's their body, their choice, and if that's what they want, then that's what that's their choice. Nobody else's choice but theirs. Thank you.